From a freak flood at a dam in Colombia that sent workers running for their lives, and a trucker in the Amazon rainforest who thought he could cross this rickety bridge, to a violent tornado in Meridian, Mississippi that tore the roof off the neighbor's house, and a group of Russian teenagers who learned why you shouldn't throw bricks at buildings. Here are 10 moments filmed seconds before disaster. The Port of Barcelona is one of the busiest passenger ports in Europe. The city itself is a transport hub across the continent. The international airport is right around the corner, and high-speed rails can take you through France and the rest of Europe. On Halloween of 2018, an Italian ferry loaded with cars and passengers tried to dock near the port. A storm picked up on the water, causing the ferry to veer off course. Unfortunately, it veered straight into a loading crane. A small fire starts where the crane lands. Soon, a thick cloud of black smoke rises into the air. It only takes 30 seconds for the fire to get worse. Meanwhile, the ferry slowly backs away as if saying, "Nothing to see here." The crane it knocked over was carrying 6 containers full of highly flammable cargo. It took the local fire department several hours to extinguish the blaze. Thankfully, nobody got hurt in the crash, and the fire caused minimal damage. Amazonas is the largest state in Brazil. As you can guess, it was named after the Amazon River and rainforest. Most of the state is a tropical jungle with a few small cities and towns scattered throughout. Driving around Amazonas isn't very easy. Most travel is done by boat or plane, but some truck drivers must brave the dangerous journey. They have to cross plenty of rickety bridges along the way, like this one, somewhere in the middle of the jungle.
Carro pequeno passa.
Na marra, né?
Devagarinho, né?
Devagarinho.
Mas pulsando pra esquerda aqui, né?
Pra esquerda, marra, né?
Vai tranquilo, né?
Vai.
Falou, Júnior. Obrigado, hein, cara.
Valeu.
Show de bola aí.
Bora.
Puta que pariu.
Now what do you do? It's not like you can get a tow truck out there anytime soon. Our poor driver probably had to harness his inner Spider-Man to climb out of the truck. Look at how high that cab is off the ground. And we're not sure what these guys were talking about before the bridge collapsed. If we had to guess, it was probably something like, "This is a bad idea." We can't imagine they had many other options. Standard advice would tell you to find another way around. But when there's only one bridge, you might have to risk it for the biscuit. Now, if you're into 19th century American history, Meridian, Mississippi is the place to be. It's the 7th largest city in the state and home to about 35,000 people. It was so crucial to the South during the Civil War that General Sherman burned most of it to the ground. But Meridian got back on its feet and became a modern hub for travel and industry in Mississippi. Then, on April 14th of 2018, a powerful EF2 tornado tore through Meridian like General Sherman did back in the day. It uprooted trees, ripped apart power lines, and tore the roof off this poor person's house.
બંધ કરી દેવું પડે મોય પવને ફટ દે ઉડાડી મેલે સ્ટોર હવા જોજે આ ઝાડ પડે તો બધો પડે આ ભાઈનું જ ખુલી જાય હે કહું છું કે મોય જતા રહો હા ચેટલો ઝાડ પડી ગયો અરે ના તારી
અરે આ મુકાભાઈ આ સ્ટોરમાં હે સેફ છે આપણા
ઓહ નહીં પણ કરો અરે ના તું કરું દીજું
কি হয়
બોલે નહીં હા હા આપણો બોર્ડ બધું ઉડી ગયું બહાર ના નીકળતી કે ફોન કરી દે ગોયલા.
The storm touched down around 11 a.m., with winds blowing at 115 miles per hour. The tornado tracked an 8.5-mile path of destruction through Meridian. It also caused $1 million worth of damage to homes and infrastructure. 911 calls were coming in faster than the city could handle. Once the storm passed, Public Safety Director Doug Steffens asked those without damage to check on their neighbors. Hopefully, our cameraman hustled next door to make sure his neighbors were okay. On February 16th of 2019, a Lion Air plane took off from the airport in Jakarta, Indonesia, en route to the island of Borneo. What was supposed to be an up-and-down 90-minute flight quickly turned into a harrowing experience when the plane flew through a heavy rainstorm. The plane tried landing at Supadio International Airport, a regional hub servicing international flights. One passenger decided to film the landing as the plane braved the violent storm. While it looks like the plane landed safely, this was only seconds before it skidded off the runway. There were 182 passengers on board the plane when it veered into the muddy grass. Thankfully, nobody got hurt and everyone made it off safely. According to Reuters, Lion Air is the market leader in Indonesia. They had 11 safety incidents between 2002 and 2019. In fact, they crashed a Boeing 737 MAX in October of 2018, leading to the worst day in Lion Air history. A spokesperson said visibility on the 16th had met landing requirements. Controlled demolitions aren't as easy as blowing something up or knocking something over. There's a ton of math involved to ensure buildings and towers fall in the intended direction. When they don't, they can cause some serious damage. On May 22nd of 2013, a German demo crew arrived to tear down an old smokestack. They hooked some steel cable around the top and tied the other end to a truck. You can tell where they cut part of the tower so it'd fall toward the parking lot. Unfortunately, the smokestack had other ideas.
Egal, was der seine Ecke ist, hier macht.
Ja, der ist ja da unter der Bahnhofsfeld. Das Autofeld auch.
Glückwunsch. Ja, gefilmt.
Coincidentally, the crushed car belonged to the crew's foreman. Since he was in charge, you could say the entire accident was his fault. You can feel the awkwardness in the crowd as people move to inspect the damage. We imagine a few workers lost their jobs that day. Our next demolition genius comes from Kamenka, Russia, a small town in the Penza Oblast. On March 14th of 2017, he and some buddies stumbled upon a dilapidated building and decided to have a little fun. They started throwing bricks at the weakened support column. It didn't take a fortune teller to see their future.
Я за него бежу. Я тоже, блядь. Если его предать, я к нему бегу. Блядь!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118,
If you were wondering what Russian teenagers do for fun, this is it. They have no idea how much danger they're in. Once the support tower came down, the entire roof collapsed. Let this video be a lesson to you. If you ever come across a rundown building like this, don't throw bricks at it. The Ituango Dam is an ongoing project on the Cauca River, about 110 miles north of Medellin, Colombia. It was almost done when disaster struck on April 28th of 2018. A massive landslide blocked a tunnel meant to divert the river's flow during construction. Since they were almost done, they'd already sealed 2 other tunnels meant for diverting water. This caused water levels to rise rapidly, triggering more landslides. The company in charge decided to flood the engine room on May 10th to relieve some of the pressure. Then, 2 days later, one of the tunnels gave way, leading to massive downstream floods. Floodwaters raced toward the downstream villages. Puerto Valdiva lost 59 homes, a school, and a healthcare center. The floods also displaced about 600 people. Things only got worse for the Ituango Dam project. Experts claim that there are renewed landslide risks from nearby mountains that could block the water intake tunnels. If those mountains gave way, it could compromise the entire project. Colombia wasn't taking any chances. Because of these risks, 24,000 people downstream from the dam were evacuated from their homes. You could call the Ituango project Colombia's cursed dam. Riyadh, also known as the Gardens, is the capital and largest city in Saudi Arabia. About 5 million tourists flock to Riyadh every year, making it the 49th most visited place on Earth. Meanwhile, 7.6 million call the city their home. One of those locals, an engineer named Abdullah Abu Habla, might be the luckiest guy in the city. He was walking down some parking garage steps when everything collapsed around him. In the video, you see Abdullah walking on the roof of the parking garage. Right as he turns into the stairwell, he said he felt a strong burst or air pressure. His engineering background told him something bad was about to happen, so he retreated up the stairs. Sure enough, the entire structure collapsed around him. We end with this funny moment showing Abdullah standing with nowhere to go. Now, while he was okay, the collapsing garage caused severe damage to the cars, including his. So far, there are no reports about what caused the collapse. It remains a mystery to this day. Hurst, Texas is a densely populated city between Dallas and Fort Worth. About 40,000 people live within 10 square miles, meaning the houses are close together. On April 7th of 2018, Hurst made national news when a car crashed into a suburban home. The driver, Arnulfo Castro, was arrested for driving without a license. When police arrived to detain him, their cameras captured a near catastrophe. The video ends there, but another officer's body camera captured the blast from a second angle.
Gas line explodes.
222 to Hurst, you copy that? We had explosion in the house.
Officer Travis Heiser is the man you see walking toward the house in the dashcam clip. He thanked divine intervention for saving his life that day. A finger pushed me away from the house. Otherwise, I would have been up on the wall, he told reporters later on. Arnulfo severed the house's gas line when he crashed into the den. We're not sure how long his car was parked in the living room before it went boom. Officers heard screaming coming from inside the house after the explosion. One man stumbled outside while first responders rushed in to rescue 2 other people. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured. The family started a GoFundMe page to pay for the damages. The USS Carl Vinson is a U.S. Navy Nimitz-class supercarrier. As of April 10th of 2023, it is docked in the Hawaiian Islands operations area for group sailing exercise. The carrier set sail in 1983 and was named after the late Georgia Senator Carl Vinson for his Navy contributions. In this old-school footage, a seasoned pilot takes off in his Grumman A-6 Intruder, an American all-weather attack plane. It seemed like a normal takeoff at first, but something went horribly wrong. Our pilot reached the end of the bow and immediately realized something wasn't working. The plane wasn't responding to his inputs. No matter what he tried, she just wouldn't fly. Control started screaming in his earpiece, "Climb, climb, climb," but there was nothing he could do. Climb, climb, climb became eject, eject, eject. And on the third eject, as the plane turned 90 degrees, our pilot pulled the handle, sending him and his navigator flying into the ocean. He was willing to accept his fate right then and there, but both miraculously survived. Due to spinal compression, our pilot claims he was an inch shorter when they pulled him out of the water. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.